Look at how China is advancing rapidly in technology, even in agriculture. When they raise ducks, they start by placing the eggs into a machine that separates good eggs from bad ones. The good eggs are then put into a heating machine, which hatches the ducklings in a short time. These ducklings are then transferred to separate tubs with bulbs to keep them warm and protected from the cold. But look, this is why Chinese farmers are setting fire to sugarcane fields. They aren't wasting the sugarcane. Instead, they burn the dry leaves before harvesting to make cutting easier. After harvesting, the sugarcane is loaded onto trucks, taken to factories, cleaned, processed, and turned into brown sugar that's sold for high prices. But look, in China, farmers use drones to collect bananas from plantations. They tie ropes to the drone, which helps transport banana bunches from one place to another quickly and efficiently. Additionally, pesticides are also sprayed in the banana plantations using drones, saving time and effort. But look, this is why Chinese farmers are covering crops with plastic cups. In desert areas where irrigation water is scarce, farmers place plastic cups over plants during the day. These cups protect the plants from direct sunlight, and the heat causes condensation inside the cups, providing moisture to the plants, effectively watering them. But look, farming in China is quite unique. The sugarcanes grown in China are different. While regular sugarcanes are hard and difficult to break, Chinese sugarcanes are very soft, easily broken by hand, and can be chewed effortlessly. They are as sweet as honey. But the mangoes are very large, seedless, and incredibly juicy, making them a delight to eat. But look, this is why the Chinese are spreading mats under orange trees. Chinese are innovative in farming. When cultivating oranges, they spread black mats to eliminate grass and retain soil moisture. Once the oranges grow, they wrap them in white paper to protect them from pests. Then they use stone mills to make orange juice, then sell it in the market. But look, worldwide, sweet potatoes are grown in soil, but in China, they are grown in the air. Here, special sweet potato vines are hung on large sheds, and they grow in bunches, similar to bananas. Some farmers use buckets filled with soil and hang them to help the bunches grow faster. But look at this. In China's large sheep farms, when some sheep die after giving birth, their lambs are taken to graze with milk carried on donkeys. This ensures the lambs can be fed whenever they are hungry. Additionally, these farms use advanced machines to collect fodder, completing hours of work in just minutes. But look at how intelligent the Chinese are when it comes to farming. During sponge gourd cultivation, they hang plastic cups filled with soil below the gourds. This ensures the gourds grow straight and long. Even the ones that initially grow crooked become straight through this process. Once ready, they are harvested and sold in the market. But look, in China, garlic farming is mostly done using machines. These small machines are used for sowing garlic. Just load the garlic and the machine plants it automatically. Similarly, during harvesting, machines are used to uproot the garlic directly from the fields and pack it into sacks. But see how farmers are earning thousands of dollars by farming a certain type of mushroom. They use logs and drill holes in them, then fill the holes with a substance that looks like corn. The farmers sprinkle water on the logs for 10 days straight, after which the mushrooms are ready. Finally, the logs are put inside machines that separate the mushrooms, and they are sold in markets. But look, this is why the Chinese grow thorny cactus plants and gain thousands of dollars. Cactus farming is ideal for areas with low rainfall, since cacti can thrive with minimal water. But they cultivate cactus because it produces a fruit on top of it when cut open, reveals a pink interior. This fruit is extremely sweet and highly popular. But look, this is why the Chinese are burning cactus plants. In desert areas where fodder is scarce, cacti are fed to cows. They burn the cactus spines with fire to make it safe for the cows to eat, which increases milk production. But the small fruits that grow on cacti are harvested and eaten by the locals. But look, this is why the Chinese are burying fish in the field and earn thousands of dollars more. They've found a new way to boost crop yields. When planting ginger, they also bury fish alongside as natural fertilizer. This enriches the soil for a better ginger harvest. Then the ginger is processed using machines and sold in markets. But look at this. In China, farmers with limited land use a unique method of farming. They remove soil from bricks and grow various vegetables in their yards. Some even plant seeds in the bricks to grow corn. This allows them to make additional profit. Such innovative farming techniques are something only the Chinese can pull off. But look, this is farming in hilly areas. It is very tough because machines can't reach there. So farmers use oxen to prepare small fields and plant rice. But they also release fish into the fields. Later, when the rice is harvested, they collect the fish and sell them, making extra income from both crops and fish farming. But look at this. Farmers are now using the automatic transplanter machine. Earlier, farmers planted vegetables by hand or with basic tools, which took a lot of time and effort. Now, this machine plants vegetables quickly, saving both time and labor. Similarly, large dairy farms use machines to feed cows efficiently, making the process much faster. But look at this unique lotus farming. farming, where harvesting the lotus root is the most challenging task. The lotus root grows deep in the mud, and farmers have to dive into the muddy water to extract it. These roots are sold at high prices in the market as they are used to make delicious dishes at home. But look, this is how Chinese farmers grow grapes to earn thousands of dollars. They cut large grape branches, dip them in chemicals, and plant them. Once buds appear, they transfer them to fields. As the vines grow, they remove weak fruits and leaves to boost growth. When the grapes are ready, they harvest them, pack them in crates, and sell them in markets. But look, this is how Chinese farmers make thousands of dollars from rose farming. They start by cutting rose stems and dipping them in chemicals, but once buds appear, they replant them in fields. As roses grow, they protect small flowers with plastic and spray them to prevent damage. When fully grown, they use large combine machines to harvest them efficiently. But look at how people in China make thousands of dollars from pine trees. They climb tall pine trees to collect the cones. Then the seeds are soaked in water to make it easier to extract the nuts. But after drying them in the sun, they crack the seeds by hand to get the nuts out, which are then sold as dry fruits for a big profit. But look at this amazing method the Chinese use to transport bamboo from forests. They tie the bamboo together and roll it down hills, making it slide down quickly. Then they throw the bamboo into rivers, then ride it and paddle it like a raft to their homes. As if they were shooting an action movie. This technique saves both effort and time. But see how Chinese farmers maximize their profits. They grow chili plants alongside wheat crops. After harvesting wheat, they beat it with sticks to separate the grains and use the leftover straw as natural fertilizer for the chili plants. When the chilies ripen, they pick them, pack them in sacks, and sell them in the market, making huge profits. But why do the Chinese bury vegetables underground? It's not because they are diseased. Instead, after harvesting, some vegetables are stored underground to keep them cool and fresh. Later, they are taken out and sold in the market. But in Japan, farmers use eggs in the fields as fertilizer by plowing them into the soil. But see how Chinese farmers use ducks to boost their corn harvest. When the corn plants are small, they release young ducks into the field. The ducks eat the lower leaves and fertilize the soil naturally with their droppings, helping the crops grow faster without extra fertilizer. Later, the farmers sell the grown ducks and harvest the corn using machines. But look at how, in China, drones have made farming much easier. With these drones, farmers can now spray fertilizers and pesticides on their fields effortlessly while sitting in one place. However, in some areas where this technology is not yet available, farmers still have to spray pesticides manually by hand. But look, this is how the Chinese are earning thousands of dollars by farming locusts. When a swarm comes, they catch thousands from fields and raise them on fresh greens. In just a month, each locust lays about 400 to 500 eggs, multiplying rapidly. Once grown, they are packed into sacks and sold in markets, where the Chinese buy them to fry and eat. But see how farmers are earning big money by beekeeping along with mustard farming. When mustard flowers bloom, they place bee boxes in the fields. The bees collect nectar to produce honey, while also helping with pollination by moving between the flowers. This increases mustard crop yield significantly. Later, they extract honey from the beehives and sell it in the market for a good profit. But look, the real way to grow peas is done by the Chinese farmers. Their peas never get pests. First, they use a bottle trick to plant the peas in the fields. Once the peas are ready, they harvest them and sell them in markets. But that's not all. Even the leaves of the pea plants are collected and sold. They grind these leaves on stones to make a delicious chutney that people love to buy. But